Don't be so sensitive, naive, dramatic, eccentric, loud, weird, obsessive, hyper, different, passive-aggressive, opinionated, argumentative, overbearing, rude, condescending, blunt, messy, serious, literal, awkward, jumpy, scared, shy. Why can't you just be normal? Why can't you talk normal, sit still, stop making strange faces? Just relax, calm down, make friends. Stick to one thing. Be interested in your peers. Have better handwriting. Read a clock. Do your laundry. Read between the lines. Be one thing. Chill out. Be more organized. Adult better. Shave your legs and armpits. Wear makeup. Why can't you dress normal? Stop messing with your hair. Say something. You are too much. Hi, I'm Kayla, and I'm autistic. And I'm here to document my journey, finding this out later as an adult, getting should be diagnosed officially, so I can get workplace accommodations, because I'm realizing how much I actually struggle on a daily basis, and having support, as much as it sucks that I need official diagnosis, it does and it doesn't. I get it, but I can talk about the reasoning why I want my diagnosis later. I wrote notes, so I'm going to be looking down a lot. And also, this is my first time doing any kind of video thingy. If you know me, have known me for a long time, mostly people who knew me as a kid, or knew me in high school, knew me when I was younger, probably are going, no, that makes sense. And hopefully it does, I guess. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Those who knew me later, who knew me as an adult, probably, I would assume most of them would be like, yeah, she's a little kind of fucking weird sometimes, but I wouldn't say she's autistic. And that's totally fair, because no one, not even myself, understands how well I mask, how deep that mask goes, how much I've camouflaged in my entire life. Basically what it comes down to is I've suppressed everything that makes me me for so long, that I'm beginning to realize in a short amount of time, I still don't know who that is. I kind of know for the most part at my core, because I do have really, really close relationships with my husband and a few friends of mine, where I can, for the most part, be myself. But I still don't know what that self is, because it's still masking. I'm still putting up this neurotypical mask. And it's exhausting. It's really exhausting. Lots and lots of energy devoted to masking. And yeah, I just want to record this process, because I know other adults, specifically adult women, have gone through this, are going through this, later diagnosis, later realization, coming into their own, I guess. Treating themselves with the respect that they deserve, and respecting their needs, finding out, what those are to begin with. I want anybody watching this to take it with a grain of salt, know that I am one person. I am one autistic person. My opinions aren't the majority. They're not everybody. They're me. And before you make any conclusions based on anything I've said, do your research. Watch more, read more, get into it yourself. Try to form your own opinion about it. As you probably realized, I rant and ramble, and I'm going to try and not do that. That's why the notes, but what do you want from me? Basically, this is the journey to discovering I'm autistic and kind of where to go from here. So firstly was like the realization, oh, I'm autistic, which you'd think, would happen once and then you'd kind of like go from there, but it didn't. It happened several times where I was like, maybe I'm autistic, and I'd kind of look into it a little bit and reading, the DSM-5 definition, kind of relating to it, but kind of not. And I'm like, I guess like I'm not. The biggest thing was, even though I thought I had put this to rest, I still knew I was different. And I still felt pretty alienated from the rest of society in a lot of ways. The rest of most people. And I was still desperate. I still wanted an answer for why I am the way that I am. And I didn't feel like I had that answer yet. And autism kind of put a lot of light onto that. I also just had a baby, so that's been a roller coaster. I think a lot of things came out with that because of the exhaustion, because of the stress. There are things that I was noticing about myself that I think I had, on lock for the most part, that had come unlocked because I didn't have like the mental ability, the energy to put into that. Having these issues talking and speaking, and I felt like I couldn't put sentences together and forgetting things a lot more than I have ever have in my life, and was just like, what is going on with me? Like, I know like there's like mom brain or pregnancy brain or whatever they want to call it, but it felt more than that. And I also started noticing my daughter. She's 7 months now, and I know she's still super young. I can tell she's more sensitive than other babies. I was beginning to think like, okay, I remember being super sensitive as a kid, and if my daughter's anything like me, and she has any of the same experiences I did, and the struggles that I did, like, I need to figure this out for her, like for me too, but for her, so she has a better childhood. Not better like my childhood was bad, but just having that insight. I also listened to a lot of YouTubers, women specifically, talking about their autism and how autism presents in women, and psychiatrists kind of talking about the differences, the things that we're learning now that we didn't necessarily know when I was a kid, because it presents differently in women and females. Like, it just does. And everything that they were talking about from the female perspective, I was like getting chills. Like, I'm getting chills now, because it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, that is the only, that makes a lot of sense. Kind of became obsessed, went down the rabbit hole, as I usually do, and just started researching a lot of information, reading papers of the undiagnosed population of women out there. And the biggest thing, honestly, was this pandemic and the stress involved with that, but also realizing why I was stressed. And it wasn't because I wasn't able to socialize. Like, I realized I don't really, like, I wasn't bothered by not socializing. Like, I enjoyed being home, and I didn't really miss people. I missed certain people that I love, select handful of people, but I didn't miss people. I didn't miss going out, like at all. And when I did, I felt like rusty, and I forgot how to socialize. That kind of just started the stream. And the second thing is I started reframing my past. And I'll do like more videos on more specifics, because I could go into like 10,000 degree, 10x of detail into every little thing I'm talking about. So I'm trying to be concise. But looking at my childhood, looking at relationships, all the self-medicating I did, the things I did now I know as stimming, friendships dissolving, difficulty with friendships, just difficulty connecting with people in general. I've lost count how many identity crises I've had. And that's putting it, like, identity crisis is putting it lightly, because each time was like my entire self was disintegrated into nothing, and I had to start from scratch all over again. And that like happened year after year, it felt like, for years. Just my high sensitivity to stimuli, and most stimuli, like most. Meltdowns, which turned into shutdowns, and those times that I'm thinking when I did shut down, like having a name for it and like realizing that's what it was. Lots of health issues, gut issues. I think I saw my first therapist when I was like 12. I forget for what at 12, but I know for 14 I saw a different one. It was for an eating disorder. So eating disorder, history of eating disorder. I thought there was a special book on life. I thought there was some sort of secret that everyone knew that I was like, I didn't know, that I wasn't privy. Is that the right? Privy. There we go. Privy to that information. And it was like missing, like there's something missing from me. I was broken. I wasn't getting something that everyone else seemed to be getting. Yeah, so just like clicking, reframing things, remembering situations where I didn't understand what happened, or, what went wrong, or just, I don't know, awkward thing, just weird situations that I had been in and I didn't fully understand. And having that autistic like frame lens really shone light on that, and like explaining a lot of things. My job struggles, had a lot of struggles in my jobs and workplace struggles. Lots of meltdowns at work, like. And my strange interests, and like jumping from topic to topic, but like, I want to know everything about this, and I'm going to talk about this and obsess about this for however long, I want to. Whenever like, I'm like, okay. And then, on to the next, and same fucking thing. And, yeah, just still as a kid, I felt like an alien. I felt not human. I felt like I didn't belong. And I didn't know why. I wanted to know why so bad. I wanted to know why I was different. I wanted to know why people treated me differently. I wanted to know why I couldn't seem to just be like everybody else. And after all that, after realizing, all these things, reframing my past, having context, getting more of an understanding of what autism is, first off, and how it presents in females, and the difficulties women can have, and learning about camouflaging, masking, fawning. There was literally no other logical explanation. I couldn't deny it anymore. Like, I'm autistic. I'm definitely highly affected by my autism, even if it doesn't seem like I am now. Just know that if things do not come out, like I start doing things and you're like, what? She didn't do that before. It's just because I'm gonna actively try to not mask anymore and just be my true self. Number 3, I don't know why I numbered these, but it helps keep me fucking organized, is like seeking help, seeking the right help and diagnosis. And this is right for me. It might not be right for everybody, but it's important to me, and it's important so I can get accommodation when I return to work, which I plan on staying home with my daughter for at least a year. We may or may not be having a second kid, so everything's kind of, this is just like for future, and just, I don't know, I guess it's validating. It's validating I'm not crazy. And with that diagnosis comes like the actual help that I need, not like therapy for depression or OCD or an eating disorder or anxiety or whatever fucking else. I'm diagnosed with like 10,000 different things when autism explains most things. Getting that focused, tailored help, I think will benefit me. It might not, but I think it will. So being able to have a lens of autism during therapy for me and for my provider, I think will make a world of difference. Lastly, I have some future goals in mind. So I'm just going to read them out, and if I need to elaborate. If I elaborate, which I will, but you know. Basically realizing my full potential. I'm just going to stop there because I can go on. Love myself. Forgive myself. Guess I should put forgive others as well. Be proud of who I am and know it's always a work in progress. This is who I am. Like, I'm going to struggle. I'm going to have these struggles for the rest of my life, basically. There's no fixing it. And not wanting to fix it, which I'm not there yet. Educate about autism, you know. I barely knew, what autism was. I knew the bare minimum before I started researching, but most people have no idea what autism really is. Take criticism only if it serves me. So if it's coming from a good place, which I usually don't even know, so I'm just going to scratch that one off. Learn my triggers, which is a huge one. I'm already starting to realize some of my triggers, and I've just been constantly triggering myself, like on a daily basis, which is not good. So learning when a meltdown's coming, and being able to cope better with that. Be aware when I start to fixate on a person. So I'll go into more detail on later videos about my fixations. And yeah, that'll be a later thing. But I'll go into more detail about that. Understanding my actual likes and my actual dislikes, and not having that outside influence as much. Knowing, what's me and what's someone else or something else. Understand myself, voice my needs better, use my talents for my benefit, be authentic, like stop masking unless it's absolutely necessary, like job interview stuff, stuff like that. Stop apologizing for just being me, for just existing. Don't let it control my life. So obviously I'm autistic. Everything is through an autism lens because I'm autistic, but that it doesn't define or limit me because of that. Accept the ups and downs. That's going to be a long process. Accept this is how my brain works. So that was kind of accepting, like, that this is how I'm going to be forever. Self-care and motherhood. Let my interests guide me, Just let them guide me and take me where they want to go. And stop trying to find don't let the pressures of society tell me what I should do with my life, career, whatever that may be. Let my interests and passions guide me. Create videos as a way to document and reach others. So, doing that. Release video number 1. I want to wrap up there. Again, I plan on making a lot of future videos. I have lots of notes and ideas for future videos where I will go into more detail about, you know, my medical care journey from age 2 to now, my sensitivities, what they are, how they present, and my experiences with masking, how I mask, yeah, stuff like that. I have no idea how to end this video. Why is that so hard? Yeah, so more videos to come. You know, love yourself, be kind to yourself, and catch you on the flip side.